Well, this episode has been long overdue. I know I mentioned it maybe back when the episode numbers were still in single digits, actually. But my mom is visiting during Thanksgiving, and I guess we just had a little falling out with her. I I guess we had a little. Well, she wanted to talk about stuff that I didn't want to talk about because I know she doesn't change her mind about it. And yeah, so I know that it wasn't going to end up nicely, so I just end up removing myself from the situation. And I left her at my place. And yeah, now I'm downstairs. And I left in such a hurry, I don't have a hair tie. So as you can see, I have a USB cable sticking out of my neck because I couldn't find a hair tie. But yes, welcome to episode 19. Dear Mom. It's something I've been wanting to talk about. So, I guess to do it justice, I want to come at it at an angle without blame. I just want it's almost coming at the angle where it's something like, and I don't really have a script for this. Um, Pretty much, I want to come at this in a way where if my mom actually listened, what are the things that I actually want to talk to her about, right? So, the main point she was trying to say is that she's not happy with me. Like, she's happy that I'm enjoying myself doing comedy and music. She's not happy with the kind of people that I'm hanging out with because they look like homeless people. And they're also rough around the edges because, which is kind of weird because, like, she actually gets offended when people cuss around her or around me. And and she just doesn't want that for me, which I appreciate. Thank you. And I do see that she doesn't want me to like lead a life where it's just with rough people, right? But so I do appreciate that. But the thing is, I really am enjoying myself doing music and comedy. And if it wasn't that I lived with a conservative father, well, my stepfather is a conservative white guy, and my mom, I don't know where she stood, but I guess me coming out as trans sort of spooked her, and that sort of spooked her into becoming a conservative slash Republican, right? And and I don't know. So she would look at my hair. She would look at my hair, my lifestyle, and think that me being laid off from the bank and now working for a job that only pays two-thirds of what I'm making is a sign that I'm paying, like, it's sort of like punishment for me coming out as trans and living an alternative lifestyle, right? And she could be right. Maybe America isn't as open as we hoped it was, right? But I don't know. It just feels weird because it's suppose I'm condemned to be treated badly for being trans and for having long hair. then in a way, entertainment, the entertainment industry would be the place where I have the highest chance of being accepted and thrive at. But she doesn't want that for me because the people I hang out with or the perceived social class or wherever is not up to her standards. But but that's the thing. I feel like it should be a choice that's left to me, right? Obviously, parents want what's best for their children. So I understand it. I don't know. And it just cuts into so many different things because it's like she says she wants to buy a place here in Austin. And me as a real estate agent, I would be more than happy to help her get a place. But she wants to get a place where I live in and she can just stop by anytime during winter months, sort of using it as a winter home, right? But I don't know. Like, if I'm renting right now and I have my own place, and there's just so much unhappiness that we have to like just separate from each other like this. I can't imagine having to live inside a home that's controlled by her and I don't get to be myself. And so I'm really iffy about it. And and that's the thing, right? Like nobody wants to be gay and nobody wants to be trans and like like it's not something that people come to this world and say, "Hey, I wish I'm disabled," or somehow treated lesser by other people even if I'm fine, right? And I don't know. It's just you would think that my own mother would have my corner, I guess. But I don't. And she doesn't. Sometimes I wonder sometimes I wonder how wonderful it would be if she could just let this whole trans issue go and just see me as her, well, not even son, just see me as her offspring, see me as her family member, and just accept me. But she's so caught up by it. And in a way, I see it. I mean, I don't want her to worry for me for things that's more or less out of her control. And all she does is she worry and she makes life miserable for people around her. My stepfather, me, family, relatives when she go visit them, family, friends. I I don't want that for her, but the price of not having that for her is for me to give up my free will and be someone who I was not or who I am not. And I don't know if I can do it. And but I don't also want to see her hurt. I mean, I sort of knew coming out to my parents was a bad idea, and I sort of also didn't want to do it, but I was sort of put into a situation where I was sort of forced to, I guess, because I was surrounded by Asian landlord slash roommate that feel like it's the right thing for your parents to know, right? And in a way, they're right. My parents do have the right to know, but what now, right? It's I don't know, and it sucks because it means that unless I have some sort of undeniable proof, I guess, I will never find peace. And that's why I push so hard. And but that's kind of messed up, isn't it? Because when it comes to undeniable proofs like money and status, when you obtain it, can you really trust the people who change after you have obtained it, right? I don't know. Especially when it comes to my own family members. This sucks because last night I actually did a really nice. I had a really good time doing our weekly show at Coldtowne Theater with Courtney, and I think we did a pretty good job with the skeleton crew with just me and him and the comics. And I wish I I wish my mother would look at that and at least see it as more than just me being happy or me being in the zone, but as proof that I'm in my element or me excelling at something that I want to do. But the stereotype of, Asian parents saying that I'm proud of you is true. It's actually very true. It's it does make me it does make me wonder. It makes me wonder, like, when. God, I wish I had some sort of napkin on me. Jesus, this is terrible. I can't breathe. Let me see. Maybe I do. Oh, I do have napkins. Great. Oh, this trash bag. No, I need a napkin. I don't need any of this. Is there a pause? Oh wait, there's pause. I'm gonna pause. I'll be right back. And through the magic of the pause button, I'm back. Yay! Well, yeah, I'm back. Okay, but I don't know. It's hmm. When Tony Hinchcliffe said Asian sons and their mothers, right? I guess a part of me can't let my mother go, right? So he's right about that. I wish I could just not care about my parents' feelings and just do what I want. But a part of me can't. even though it matters, but it doesn't matter at the same time. So yeah, what is it that I want in life? I guess one of them is undeniable proof that I guess my mom kind of just bully me about. But then again, like, but that's the thing. It's it's a cop out to say, well, those kind of people, like people like my mother, would never be satisfied, right? I think that's a cop out. I think if I give it a honest try, and I am, I want to see how far I can go in entertainment. And when I have my own corner office, I wonder if she will be proud of me then. But who knows? It's weird, right? Because success is different for different people. Like for instance, I'm happy in my relationship, but it's too bad I cannot like share my relationship with my mother because she's not approving of it, right? Because for me, a successful relationship, I mean, having kids is really would be nice, but I just wanted to be with a good person, and my partner has been providing me with that other than, I don't know, his long distance. But other than that, I'm happy. Like, we chat, we connect, we understand each other, and we have a great time when he visits. And and I feel like he has my back. So how is that not enough, right? I don't know. But yeah, like having to rely on my parents for a place to stay is a no go. I don't and and in a way, this whole Thanksgiving visit is just unfair because they notified me like a day before they plopped her down. Like I didn't even really have a day to think about it. They say, "Oh, your mother is coming in tomorrow." I'm like, "What?" And then she's here, and it's not fair. But I do what I can. It's because when my grandpa and my grandma passed away, I saw how my mother and her two sisters and my uncle, so three sisters and a younger brother, I saw how much they broke down crying and how much regret they had about not spending as much time with grandpa and grandma, right? And I understand that I don't want that to happen to me. So I do what I can to spend as much as I time as I can with my mother, even though I don't enjoy it. Like I love her, but I don't like her. And sometimes I feel like she's too caught up with the outer appearance that she doesn't see what is good and what's not good. But in today's world, I guess we confuse money and wealth and everything with power. And it's not necessarily the way, but we act as if it is. So, I don't know. um, maybe I need to look for a different job. I don't know. Or maybe I need to excel at my current job and find something more suitable to my abilities within the organization. Maybe. It's just a lot of pain thinking about it. But just like I said on KT, it's like as as much as I want to blame it on my parents, they did what they can. They're not perfect people, but they did what they could and they brought me up. I'm relatively put together. I see cracks, but relatively put together. So I should be happy, right? But all that is in the past and it doesn't really change anything dwelling on it. So yeah, this video, I know my mom would never see this. I don't think, unless some freak accident. Well, knock on wood, happened to me, and then she's like, why, right? But that's the thing. It's messed up because me coming out as trans and then bad things happening to me are not necessarily related. But she just seems really adamant and almost joyful or gleeful in her trying to draw connections between me being trans and bad things happening to me. And normally I don't think about bad things happening to me, but having a constant reminder of it and having it attributed to something that's not even related, that's an attribute of me, is the logical part of me is having it just it's nerd going, well, actually, but yeah. And my biggest worry, in a way, is that suppose something bad happened to me, instead of actually finding out the real reason something bad happened to me, my mom would just be, I wouldn't say overjoyed, but would be relieved, I guess, of her worry and saying, see, I told you being trans or living an alternative lifestyle will lead to ruin. And this is proof. And she'll probably join some weird anti-trans movement and be their spokesperson and say, look, transsexualism took my son or whatever, right? Rather than reflecting on what she did or what she didn't do. And she would never, she wouldn't. She wouldn't reflect. Very one track minded. And, but she's my mother. I can't do anything about it. You know, sometimes I wonder if I regret. When I was a kid, I think my parents divorced when I was 6. When I was 8, I gave my mom a lot of pressure on finding me a father. Sometimes I wonder if that was a mistake. Maybe it's not, but that's the thing. And maybe there's no excuse for it, for the 8-year-old me to want a father in my life. And so she did what she could. And in a way, that's how I ended up here in America after a few boyfriends of hers. But I still remember how happy we were. Because my mom was what you would call a boss babe nowadays. She was very capable back then. And I have good memories. Well, let me go below my nose again because this is actually important. Okay, it didn't automatically reconnect on the mic, and now I'm worried, but I'm gonna keep rolling, and then I'll just check back and see if the video is still good or the audio is still good. But yeah, I remember that even before when I was 6 years old, I guess there were signs like my biological father not being around, right? But but I also remember having a great time with my mother. Like she was, like I said earlier, a boss bae, and she works hard at work. She gets recognized. We would do shows actually for the company yearly gala and things like that, where she would wear this fantastic dress with rose adornments, and she would sing, and I would play the piano as a accompaniment. And I also remember that we would go to the company sponsored villa up the street that's like, I don't know, maybe 10 blocks away in a small town, and it's up on top of the hill with golf courses and swimming pools, and we would swim, and then we would go home after her working and me coming back from school. We sort of just did what we wanted to do, and we didn't have to listen to any man. And I guess what I'm trying to say is we were in charge of our lives. But that's why a part of me is really mad at myself. Is like, why did I throw it all away and ask for a father in my life? Would things have turned out to be better if I did it? I don't know. Let me blow over those. Okay, that was a fun crying session. I guess the hormones are working because I wouldn't say I cry for fun, but the emotions do come easier now. But yeah, sometimes I wonder if it was my fault to want a father when I was younger. But so that's how I ended up in America when I was 10. And I don't know. And that's the thing, right? Like, America is a place that sort of turns you for lack of a better word, it's like it turns your blessings into curses because, you know, back in Asia, frugality is good, modesty is good, right? But in America, it's always twisted in some sort of way because if you're modest in America, it's sort of taken that you're not confident. Like if you're not loud, then maybe you just suck and we don't you don't deserve anything, right? And then if you are, I don't know, if you are frugal, like in Asian cultures, frugal is good because you're saving for something, right? But my old stepfather, he's frugal. And I was talking to my friend about this recently, and he said, yeah, but frugal is essentially asking someone else to live with less. And then I never thought about it that way, but now looking back, I guess frugality is one of those things where you just sort of impose on yourself, but you shouldn't impose on other people. Same with efficiency, I guess. But but that's the thing. And sometimes I look back, it's like my existence within my white family wasn't exactly like welcomed and loved, but it was just tolerated. And and perhaps it's fine, right? We were outsiders after all. And so, I mean, like you hear stories about step parents being bad to to the stepson or stepdaughter, right? Well, let me sneeze real quick. Okay, okay. So you hear stories about step parents being bad for to their stepson and stepdaughter. I don't think my stepfather was bad for me per se, but I also feel like there were some things where a father would have done for their own son or daughter that I never had. So I was sort of just like, like, and it doesn't help that I was the so-called smart kid because I don't want to be like a burden to my parents even at a young age. So I sort of locked a lot of myself away growing up. And and so and so this is how like someone like me can grow all the way up to like 28 years old and never really like come into being, I guess. Give me a second. Ah, that's terrible. I'm sorry. I guess that's how someone like me can grow up to 28 years old and never come into being because the first 20 years of my life I was trying to just be the good child and not be, a burden to my parents. And then at 20, I knew that I wanted to get my own family, and I did. And because I wasn't happy in my regular family, and I did start my own family, but the problem with that then is I immediately jumped from the obedient child to the doting husband or whatever, right? So it wasn't about my family anymore. It was about her, my ex. And so I also didn't get to be myself until the divorce when I was 28. And that was when, combined with like in between jobs and being divorced, that was the first time I hit rock bottom in my life. And that's where I really had to come into terms with who I am, what I wanted to be, what I want in life, and you know, self-loathing, obviously, but then it's sort of like, well, if I hate myself, what do I need to change about myself where I can love myself? And I couldn't love myself if I can't be truthful to myself. So I had to really dig really deep to sort of understand who I was, and that's how I learned I was trans, I guess. But yeah, I mean, in a way, even if it's not too late to be mad at my parents, they do what they can, and I don't think it will do any good to be mad at them. But on the other hand, I can't stand being around, well, mostly my mom because I don't want to just wake up and cry with the amount of like nervous energy and blame and worry that she puts out. And it sucks because it eats her away. It's eating away at her. I see it. I don't want her to be like that, especially for, you know what? It's like me wanting to live my life the way I want to live has nothing to do with her, but somehow she kept on standing in front of it and say that it's because me living my life to my own terms that she's suffering. And I don't know what to do. I mean, I sort of know what to do, and I've been doing it, but ignoring it doesn't seem to be the way to go. But going all head on is also only just going to cause pain because she doesn't change. And even we've been to we've been to with therapy, and neither of us think that we're doing anything wrong, and it may very well be so. And but at the end of the day, she's my mother. I love her. I don't like her. I love her, and I do what I can. In a way, it does kind of echo my first joke when I got on Coldtowne. It was. Did you think it's kind of messed up or weird that the people who like to talk about the gift of life are the people who want something from you? And yes, that came from my mother actually because she at that point she was trying to guilt trip me about giving birth to me. So I don't know. It's it's one of those things where I don't think there is any solve other than me just going ham and hustle until I have undeniable proof that she will just can't say or do anything about. Uh, and and in a way it's weird, right? Because it's like you've been watching this channel before. I've been talking about the rat race. So it's like being a participant of it in a way that's more than just, well, I mean, I'll tolerate the rat race because I need money to, survive, to I actually want to get something out of the rat race, right? So I don't know. I may need to change my strategies and be more earnest in my pursuit of success, I guess, because there's no way to go back. Or rather, I would not say no way to go back to being straight or something like that. It's that in a way the cat's out of the bag. I sort of know who I am now, and I sort of want to preserve this me. And and that's what it will be. I'll be the black sheep of the family for the time being, and it will be fine. I mean, it's not fine, but what can I do about it, right? But yeah, this is still the week of Thanksgiving, so, and I did say that this video, I don't think my mom will ever see it, but if she does, I guess, thank you, Mom. Thank you for bringing me to this world. It could be better, but you did what you can. I can't really blame you for it. What's it called? While, while I study IT and other different skills in my life because we married into a family. Well, we remarried into a family, into a stepfather who doesn't want me to be I guess, a deadbeat artist. So I did learn IT, and I guess in a way I'm not a deadbeat just because I have a job that pays just enough for me to survive. But I'm thankful that I'm finally able to pursue, well, to be in a point in my life where I'm both able to survive and be able to pursue what I always wanted to do. And 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 if I couldn't be myself anywhere else, I can at least be myself in America, working in entertainment. And whether you meant it or not, I guess in a way, I'm at the right place. And I'm at peace in a way with myself when you're not visiting. And so yes, thank you, Bob. I uh, I don't know how else to convince you until I obtain this undeniable proof, I guess, of success. So I will keep pushing on, with or without your help. And hopefully we're still on good terms when I come out on the other end. But at this very moment in time, I still very much love you. And thank you for everything. And I think this is a good spot to stop the video. Oh man, I guess I'm just tired of crying. There's like plenty of time to cry and plenty of time to do all the other embarrassing things. But yeah, so I'll see you guys next week. I'll try not to cry into a mess like this next time. So see you. Bye.